So finally we have another free-roaming Spider-Man capable game. And for what it's worth, it is a great game, but it does have some issues when you take into account of the past Spider-Man game, notably Spider-Man 2. Free roam is back. Yes, we're all super happy. Really, really happy. But it's not quite as good as Spider-Man 2. Now let me explain. Their big problem people have had is that the web slinging, it doesn't attach to a building or something. It just attaches to the sky. And some of it, kind of takes away the realism and stuff. And it does take away the certain fun factor of like trying to navigate through buildings. But it's not too bad, but it does take away some essence of the game. Also with free roam, the city just seems smaller than Spider-Man 2. Now whether this was just because I was younger and the city appeared bigger to me, or you can swing faster, or that the city is itself just smaller. I don't know, but those are my only real complaints with the free roaming. Everything else is really, really good with it. It's still really enjoyable if you are looking for a free roam Spider-Man game after all these years. Graphics and voice acting is actually pretty good. I was astounded. Like whenever I could get a close-up of Spider-Man's suit, you could see each of the individual dots going through his suit, and take into account that this is a movie game, or it takes place in the same universe as a movie it's made after. Normally movie games like that aren't good in that sense, and I was actually shocked that the graphics and voice acting matched what you would expect out of a movie, let alone the video game. Next, the gameplay. The gameplay is kind of similar to Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, however you want to put that, but it's with Spider-Man's powers. So instead of you seeing more martial artsy, technical stuff, it's webs, acrobatics, things like that. And it really does feel not unique because it's in the Batman series, but it just feels fitting. And with gameplay comes boss battles. Now, I'm going to give some props to the Spider-Man game on this. Normally, I hate the typical convention where there has to be boss battles that you have to completely change your tactics to. You have to completely just work around the entire game of what you've done before in this level to just accommodate the boss battle. And Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, doesn't really do that. The boss battles you can approach in the same way you approach typical enemies, or a combination of web slinging and web shooting. And I really enjoy that. It takes away from the conventional means that it still makes the game enjoyable, even though the boss battles may seem weak. I'm actually giving that a pro in this opinion. So with all games, there are going to be negatives. And the first of them is their side missions are very limited, and they seem forced on you, so they're not necessarily side missions. I mean, the only true side missions there were chasing some robbers in a car and dealing some people trying to rob a bank. That was pretty much it over and over again. Unlike Spider-Man 2, which had, you could deliver pizzas, you could take photos, you could have an occasional date, per se, with people, and just all these cool activities. And I'm sorry if I'm comparing Spider-Man 2 to this, but it's just Spider-Man 2 set the definition of free roaming in a Spider-Man game, let alone a superhero game. Overall, in the side mission department, it is severely lacking in this game. It's either the same things over and over again, or it's forced upon you so it doesn't feel like a side mission in itself. Lastly, the replayability. If you're going to go for trophies, of course, there are some of that for difficulties and collections, but the collectibles can be collected by a level selector, so you don't really need to worry about that. And it still is extremely fun web slinging through the city. So the replayability is there, or just keeping the game for a long period of time, because when I was young in Spider-Man 2, I would do nothing more than just simply swing around the city, enjoying the sights, enjoying the views of just being in the air. So I probably had the same feeling towards this, but it'll be dumbed down a bit because of the lack of side missions. City feels smaller, and the lack of realism with the webs. So if you are a fan of Spider-Man 2 and you're looking for another good superhero game, buy this game. Now, if you got Arkham City and you're looking for something similar just to pass the time, not necessarily to give you a whole new game to explore, then I'd definitely say rent it.